Wow. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Realities, A Moment with Susie. On last week's show, we spoke about rape, which is quite a traumatic thing to talk about. We covered it, we looked at what rape is, different types of rape that are out there. We also looked at what people need to do if they find themselves in such a horrible, traumatic situation. And we looked at the type of support that is out there, so the type of support they would get from organisations if such a thing should happen to them, and the best ways for them to cope with it. On that show, I had Annette Efejaku, who is a rape crisis intervention worker, and she is with me again today. Thank you for coming, Annette. We needed your expertise. That was very important. And I also have Richard with me. Thanks for coming on the show, Richard.
Awesome.
And Richard is a sheltered housing officer in one of the London boroughs. Now, do remember the show is interactive, so if you feel like ringing in and joining the conversation at any point of time, please feel free to. Now, we have to, it's kind of hard. When you talk about rape, it is something that nobody wants to think about. It's something that nobody wants to look back and think, oh, you know what, this could happen to me. Unfortunately, the reality of life is we never know what can happen to us. So one of the things, it's always best to at least find ways to protect ourselves if we can. And when I think of that right now, as a mother of 2 kids myself, I think it's very important that parents give their children some form of awareness. You can't really teach them about it and how to protect themselves because it's really hard. But I think it's important that they get some form of awareness. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off the show with talking to Annette about rape and young children. Hi, Annette.
Hi, Susie.
Now, Annette, I am going to talk about rape and young children, and one of the things I'm not sure of is who are the most vulnerable people when it comes to rape?
Most vulnerable people when it comes to rape are young children, young people, and people with learning disabilities, vulnerable people with learning disabilities, mental health.
Right. And in what ways can we... No, let me start off and say, who would rape a child? Who are the people that would rape a child? Because the first thing you're going to think is, right, how do I protect my child? Who is the person that would, do such a terrible thing to a child?
Friends of the family, relatives, people in positions of trust, and people in positions of power. People we expect that we trust our children with would rape children, and then sometimes other children as well.
One thing I didn't hear you mention just now. You didn't say strangers.
They're strangers up to a certain extent, but more are raped by people that they know.
So people that are close to them.
People that are close to them.
So usually people that are trusted within the family.
Yes.
Wow. And also, what type of situations can we find our kids putting themselves in to make them vulnerable to such nasty circumstances?
I don't think it's a question of actually putting themselves in situations where they find themselves vulnerable to these people. If you have a friend who is a sexual predator, your child is not safe anyway. The child is not safe. So no matter how safe you want that child to be, this is somebody who the child trusts, somebody the child knows. So it's not going to be. It's very difficult for the child when something like that is happening with the child. Maybe in terms of the person coming to the house and being very nice to the child, buying them presents, making them their favorites. They're basically grooming them for sex. Then there are other things as well that can happen in terms of threats. Saying, if you tell mommy or daddy something's going to happen, and the children themselves are scared at the same time. This is somebody they know that they trust.
Yeah.
And also they don't want anything to happen to their parents because maybe that person has made a threat.
Yeah.
And it's somebody that they like as well, and they don't want that person also to go to prison because it's uncle or it's auntie.
Okay, so wait, when you're talking about somebody that they trust, who are you actually talking about? Because I'm just saying that because anybody that comes to the house could be someone they trust. So now I'm thinking, who do kids usually trust? Kids usually trust their parents, their siblings, their cousins, as in their relatives, their uncles, friends of the family.
Yeah.
Are we now saying that such people could abuse kids?
Yeah. Yes, they could, yes.
Yeah. Oh no, I know they can, but I just wanted it to be said, to be heard.
No, it's true. In most cases, it does happen. Even sometimes uncles.
Yeah.
Uncles, abuse young children, maybe brothers of fathers or brothers of mothers abuse their nieces and their nephews. Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time it's people that they know.
Yeah. It is really, really, really true. Richard, sorry, I haven't forgotten you. I think I got carried away with the horrible subject. Richard, your experience of sex abuse in kids, who do you think abuses kids? Because, it's horrifying for one to hear that it could be the neighbour next door, it could be the uncle, and as much as people don't want to hear, it could be the brother,
Yeah, well, like Annette rightly said, people who are acquainted to sufferers or victims of child molestation or rape itself, 9 out of 10 times are those who are actually known to the victim or the sufferer. So 1 out of 10 would it be a sex predator out there or a serial sex attacker or somebody from the unknown, because you find out infants always do surround themselves with people who they know,
who they are used to,
who
they feel comfortable with.
That's it, because they're still young, they're not independent yet, so you find out they'll go to school, they come back, they'll go at home. If they're gonna play, they'll play with people who they know too. So if they suffer this abuse, then naturally it has to be somebody from within the vicinity of those who they know. So yes, you're right. Most often it's always people who are acquainted to them who go around and carry out this rape or sexual abuse or molestation.
Yeah. Do you know what I think is really awful about that? It's the fact that when you say that it is 9 out of 10 times somebody who is close to the child, that means that it could be someone's brother, someone's nephew, people that you would never ever believe.
Someone known to the child.
But someone who you as the parent also trust, isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So it's like, I look at it and I think, do you trust anyone 100%? Because, I know stories of fathers abusing their kids, grandparents abusing their kids, siblings, and a lot of the time it's something that is very hard for kids to talk about because are they going to be believed?
Yes, and you mustn't forget also that as much as they might not be believed as well, it's grandpa, it's uncle. How are you going to tell mommy or daddy that uncle is doing something that's not nice?
And a lot of the time they don't even if they get them when they're very young, they don't even understand because they groom them, don't they?
Yes.
And grooming kids is something.
Yeah, and you just there's been famous cases around recent, within the United Kingdom, and most often young minors who are being groomed for sex, they're always being grown with incentives.
Yeah.
Do you understand? They give them incentives. They make them see.
When you say incentives, what do you mean by incentives? Because to some people, an incentive could be something expensive.
Yeah. Well, so.
But
take the case of the Rochdale 9 who were charged and taken to court for grooming these young girls for sex.
Yeah.
The whole idea was seeing these young children as sexual play toys for them. Yeah. And all they had to do was just tap into their psyche, know what they would like, and always just provide them with those things. In fact, in one instance, it was that the young girl who was about 12, 13 years old was just learning to smoke. And this guy just kept plying him with the rows and rows of cigarettes. Do you understand? So whatever he wanted to sexually abuse her, it was just call her and tell her, I've got 2 packs of cigarettes for you, I've got 3 packs of cigarettes. And she just felt, he does this thing to me, I get cigarettes. I enjoy using cigarettes. I enjoy smoking cigarettes. If that's the way I'm going to get, if my mom and dad are not going to give me money to buy a cigarette, and if an old man who's as old as my father
is going to let me.
Do you understand? In essence, she didn't know that, she was being abused, or she didn't know that herself was being violated, or she just felt that it was just an avenue for her to get what she desired. Do you understand? So now it always comes with an incentive. They try and incentivize the sufferer, their victim, and thereby cloud them. Like the one which you're saying, if it's a family member who's carrying out the abuse, we'll make it in a way whereby even the abuser, the victim wouldn't even be able to cry out.
But also, isn't there another thing there as well, Annette? Isn't there another thing, as in, with what Richard just said about them giving them incentives? You can imagine having a 12-year-old girl. Now, her parents don't know she smokes. Her parents would never allow her to smoke. Yet, uncle, cousin, who is old enough, lets me do it. And isn't that another tie, another, chain over the child? Because the child wouldn't want uncle to tell them that they smoke. So.
Uncle's not going
No, but I'm talking about the fear.
Yes.
Wait,
so it could be vice versa.
Yeah, I'm talking about the fear that the child would have as well. So,
or the threat which the uncle will place the child under. That if you do tell whatever I'm doing with you, I'm going to let your parents know about.
That. But I'm thinking about the part whereby it's like they're doing something like smoking and drinking. They're 12 years old, they're young, they're not allowed to. All of a sudden they have this big secret. Uncle is the best person in the world because he allows me to do what I'm doing. But at the same time, uncle is doing this to me, but I can't tell, because if I tell, then he's going to tell.
I'm going to get in trouble.
Also,
with uncle doing that, they now have a bond. They now have a very close bond.
Isn't it?
Because
a dangerous bond.
Very dangerous bond, but it's a close bond because that's what the child understands now. Uncle and I have a secret. I can smoke. Mommy and dad
don't let me smoke. Uncle lets me do it.
Uncle lets me smoke. Uncle is the best.
Yes.
So they have this secret now, and it's the two of them now against the world.
It is really sad. But if you can just tell me, hold on, I think we've got a caller coming on the line. Good evening. Hi, good evening.
Hi,
Hi.
Good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening. I got an email yesterday regarding some talk about rape.
Okay.
So I'll just call because the number was there as well. So I don't know actually.
Sorry, can you speak up a bit, please?
Sorry?
Can you speak up a bit, please?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I got an email last night.
Hi, Mike.
That there was going to be. Yeah. Can you hear me very well?
I can hear you very well, Mike. Can you turn your television down, please?
Got an email last.
Computer, sorry.
Talk about rape.
We're talking about rape.
Yeah, we're talking about rape.
Yeah, so I was just trying to login like I don't know how it's going on.
Oh, okay. So you're just checking what we're doing. We're actually talking about rape and young people at the moment. And
yeah, I got the email. I read, so I wanted to participate. In other words, I just wanted not exactly what's going on and to contribute to the world a better place.
Contribute. At the moment, we're talking about young people and rape, and who would actually do such terrible things to young people? And we've come to that conclusion that 9 times out of 10 it is a close member of the family. Do you think that?
Actually, I've not really the topic, but I would agree with you. It's most often people that are close to members of the family. In other words, those victims usually fall prey to those close to them, like pedophilia and things like that. So I would agree with you. It's true.
Yeah. So if you keep on watching, that's what we're talking about right now. Thank you so much, Mike, for ringing in.
That's all right then.
All right then. Cheers. Bye. Thank you. Alright, so that was Mike. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, so, God, he's thrown me off there. What were we talking about just now? We were still on young people, weren't we?
Yes, we were still on young people, and you were exploring how...
Ways to protect them.
Indeed.
Yeah, are there ways to protect them? Because at the end of the day, parents out there hearing such things, to some parents, it is a shock. Now, in my head, I believe to... some parents out there, they've been through similar experiences, because for some reason I always say that people have been through experiences that they don't talk about to other people. So some people know it's out there, but it's something they don't want to look at. How, it's hard to protect your child from a relative, from a sibling, from a close friend. But what's the best way to deal with it? How do you do that?
I think parents need to be more observant on what's going on with the children.
Yeah.
If things like that are happening, children are going to be acting out.
So their behavior is going to be changing.
Their behavior will change.
It's not going to be usual.
Yes, they might be truanting from school, not doing well in school, aggressive behavior.
Yeah.
Another
one, all of a sudden, if someone who is abusing them comes to the house, they might be rude, and then the parents will say, "Why are you being rude? Can you not disrespect your uncle in that sense?" But meanwhile, there's something going on.
There's something going on.
So sometimes, a lot of the time, it's good if a child acts funny to be even their brother, cousin. It's good for a parent to actually call them to one side and say to them, "Why did you behave like that? What was that about?" And not just rebuke them, because when you rebuke them, the last thing you're going to get out of them is what has actually happened. Horrible to hear that it can happen, but the reality is it does happen. The reality is it happens every day. So the best thing I think we can say to parents out there is,
and just watch out for inappropriate behavior, because when your children are young, they'll run to relatives. "Oh, hello uncle, hello auntie." If, for instance, you've got daughters and, uncle is saying, "Come and sit on my lap," or being extremely touchy-feely with the child, then you've got to watch out for things like that, and you've got to, like you suggested earlier, talk to your children as well about protecting themselves and saying, you're a big girl now, and there are certain things that you mustn't do. If uncle says, "Come and sit on your lap," you say, "No, I don't want to," or put yourself in a position where those kind of things won't happen. Don't be in the same room alone with that person. But parents need to be more watchful of things like that, because the children are vulnerable. They can't really tell you what's going on, especially when it's somebody that is close to the parents. So somebody that they probably would never believe will do something like that. We as parents need to be watchful of children and what's going on around the kids.
Definitely.
So,
do you know what I wanted to say though? And this is really, a lot of people don't want to hear this. One thing I think parents should do is that if you've got a male and female child, don't, keep them in the same room for years and years. They get to a certain age, whether we like it or not, kids will explore. kids do explore. That is how kids learn. And just how they will explore how to climb that tree, they're going to explore their bodies. So, no, but it's true. You know, there have been so many cases of siblings, you know, abusing siblings. No parent would want to hear that it happens. But unfortunately,
it does.
It
does.
Yeah.
In my experience, it does. But then again, it's very difficult, and it depends on the kind of the environment, the household as well.
Oh yeah, it
Because
is.
In these days, it's difficult for parents to have, you know, big enough houses for children to have separate rooms.
Yeah. No,
You know,
yeah,
up to a
definitely.
certain age,
Mm-hmm.
especially when with the way social housing is going at the moment. People
Yeah.
don't get rehoused as quickly as they should when their
Yeah.
children get to certain
Mm-hmm.
age. So it's more about parents being very, very observant
Mm-hmm.
and maybe talking to their children more about appropriate and inappropriate
Yeah.
behavior.
Mhm.
That is really the most important thing.
But I think also you need to implement. They need to find a way to improvise regardless, because you can't stop a child from being a child. You can't
Yeah.
stop them from exploring. So
But we mustn't forget, because that's kind of like a blanket statement. It doesn't happen with all siblings. It only happens
no,
with-
it doesn't happen with all
It happens with a
siblings.
few siblings. It doesn't happen. There are situations where families share,
Yeah.
literally living on top of each other, and things like this don't happen. So we must
Yeah.
remember that as well when we're talking about.
No, I
things
think you
like
need to
this.
remember that. But the sad thing is, you never ever know what family is going to happen with, and so you do have to have some awareness around it, because you never know what's going to walk in the door. You know, you're not ever going to say to your child, "Oh, you know what? Your brother is going to sexually abuse you." You're not going to say that. It's just about putting protective things in place so
That's why
that
you have
they
boundaries.
are aware of their body and they are aware of other people around them.
Boundaries.
Yeah, definitely.
Respect for
So,
themselves and respect for
Yeah.
others as well.
yeah. Richard?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're completely right. It's just I understand that. Well, what I would want to believe is parent talking to their children, keeping that conversation
Going.
channel
And also
always
giving them,
constantly open.
making your kids comfortable to talk to you.
Indeed,
Making them
indeed,
feel
yeah.
comfortable to come and, you
Yeah.
know, have that conversation.
Because at the end of the day, the world we live in right now, you know, the
With the
globalness
internet
of
as
the
well.
world,
The internet
they
is,
will know about these things anyway. So
Mhm.
it would have been better if a child gets to know about sex from his parents
yeah.
and get educated in
Yeah,
the right
I think we've
direction.
got a caller coming through. Hello? Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Hi, good evening. Sorry, who am I speaking
good evening.
to? Hello?
This is Ayo from New York.
Oh, hi, Io from New York. How are you this evening?
I'm good.
Oh, thank you for ringing in. Have you been listening to the program?
Yeah, I try to, as much as possible to listen to what you're saying. What I'm trying to contribute right now is that when you're talking about child abuse, talk of abuse, rape or abuse or whatsoever,
Yeah.
from being explored from among the children among themselves, that's the truth. That's what I've witnessed. I'm heard from co-workers at my own job.
Yeah.
Like majority of the people in the US, majority of them, they have first sexual experience from their immediate family,
Yeah. Mhm.
their brother, uncle, sister, nephew. Why? Because everybody will feel like, oh, they are family. They won't do such things, so they're free.
Exactly. That is very
And
true.
unfortunately, at the same time, like one person said to me, like when she told the mother about what her uncle did to her,
Sorry,
the
say
mother
that
did
again?
not believe her. One of the persons, explained that
Yeah.
one time, one of her uncles abused her
Yeah.
sexually, but unfortunately, when she told the mother, she
The
was
mother
being
didn't
spanked
believe. Yeah.
for telling
Mhm.
lies,
Yeah. Mhm.
and that
yeah.
continued for a long time.
You see, yeah, and I think that is one of the reasons why we were saying that, you know, parents need to make their kids comfortable in
Have that
interacting
conversation.
with them so that they can, that's it, feel free to have those conversations with them. Ayo, thank you so
Yeah.
much for ringing in. We are really grateful. Thank you very much. Yeah,
welcome.
thank you. All right then, bye. Hi, that was Aya from New York. Do you know what? I think something that Aya just said brought something out which we were going to discuss tonight as well, and it's about boys and men as victims of rape. And I think for me, one of the things that happened was that after we done the show last week, I was surprised at the messages that I got from men, grown men, and I thank them for actually sharing that information with me, because that was an insight for me. And what most of them were saying were that, do you know what, my first sexual experience was from an older cousin, an older auntie. You as someone who has worked with male victims, what do you think about that?
Well, the percentage of men who actually suffer, all right, you see that term rape.
I mean, rape, sexual assault.
Sexual assault.
Yeah, because it's a hard one, isn't it? Because if it's a woman, it's a hard one.
It's a hard one in the sense that
there's a thin line.
Yeah, obviously, men can be raped.
Yeah.
Do you understand? By another man.
Yeah, definitely.
You understand? So, men do get raped by other men as well.
Are you saying, what about women? Do they get raped by women?
Okay, so what I think they can, a man can be sexually assaulted by a woman.
Okay, not raped.
The one which the law recognizes statutory rape.
Can we hold that for 1 minute? We've got a caller coming through. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, sorry, please, could you turn your TV down or your computer?
Say again?
Could you turn your TV or your computer down? It's going to
interfere. Yeah, let me turn it down. I was just watching one of your programs, really.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Have you been?
When is your live show coming up again?
We're actually on live right now.
Are you on live now?
We're actually on live right now.
Can I make a contribution, please?
Yes, you can. Do you know what we're talking about?
No, really. I was just watching one of your previous episodes, and I decided to.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What's the topic? Let me quickly chip in.
Today we're actually talking, just as you rang now, we were talking about men, and are men actually raped by women?
Say again?
Are men actually raped by women? Can men get raped by women?
A man actually raped by a woman.
Can a woman rape a man? Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
Why do you say yes?
In a situation where, look at, there was this film, what is it called? I hope I'm not live anyway. I hope I'm not live now.
You hope you're not
I hope I'm not on the live show.
You are actually live. You are, babes. You are very live. Everybody can hear you out there. So make sure the film you're talking about is real.
Okay, let me call you back then. I'll prepare myself then. No.
Okay, bye-bye.
I'll call you back now.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank
bye.
you. I think I've got another caller coming in. Okay, no, that one's lost. Sorry about that, Richard. Oh, bless him. He was watching another one and wanted to chat about that one. Oh, bless. Thank you, though.
Well, hopefully he's going to call
back. Hopefully he'll call back. Oh, I hope you're catching up with us now. Right, so just before he called us, we were talking about men and whether they can be raped.
Yeah, and men actually so
victims of rape,
well, for rape to take place, there have to be a penetration of a part of the body with a part of the body.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously if it's a man raping another man, then he's going to use a part of his body to penetrate another part of his body.
That can happen.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, but it can happen.
Because before the watershed, before 9 o'clock.
Oh yeah.
That's
I wouldn't mention nothing like that.
So that's why we're being very abstract.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in the case of a woman, so a woman can only sexually assault.
Okay, yeah. All
right.
Yeah.
So, but what it's known by statutory rape is actually a young minor i.e. between the age of 13
Below
to
16.
16. Yeah.
Younger than 16, you're being shot.
Who are actually being sexually violated by their female adults.
Much younger than 13, I tell you that.
So in the eyes of the law recognizes it as being a statutory rape.
Yeah, definitely.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So even though that child or the man, the boy, goes on,
16,
below. Even though the boy goes on and perform the sexual act. What the law says is not.
Hold on a sec. I think we've got a caller coming in. Hold that one there. Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Sorry, what's your name?
My name is Pastor Ken. I'm calling from Philadelphia.
Hi. And how is Philadelphia?
Fine.
Have you been watching the show?
Yeah, I came in a bit late. I thought I was going to come in at the beginning.
Oh, that's okay. But you know what we're talking about, yeah?
Yeah. You were talking about male and female rape.
Yeah. Well, I was asking Richard if a woman could rape a man, or if a female could rape a male.
Okay, the question is, does that a female could rape a male, or is it vice versa? What are you saying exactly?
No, a female. Can a female rape a man? Not the other way around. Can a female rape a man?
Yes, I would think so.
You think
yes,
so?
they can. And I mean, I did during the week. Actually, I was on your Facebook, and I did leave examples of
Yes, you did.
people who had been raped. You know,
Yeah,
that there are women like in Zimbabwe right now who are being tried for raping men, using their seed for ritualistic purposes. And what they do is they actually they hold them at gunpoint, or they drug them at some point in time, and then they're forced to go through that process. Yeah, so anybody can rape anybody, definitely.
No, I think where people struggle, where people kind of struggle to understand it is because there's a feeling that for a man to perform, he has to be feeling a certain way. He has to be aroused, and because he's going to be scared, he's not going to be aroused, so it won't happen.
Oh, so what you're saying is that for some reason that they might not be aroused, or what?
That the man won't be aroused.
Yeah, before
so
a man can actually penetrate a woman, he needs to be aroused.
Oh, I mean, definitely the man would be aroused. I'm not a medical doctor, but what I do know is, I mean, like we all know, the body is stimulated by itself. It's I'm talking from the fact that they had also the experience like that.
Sorry, what's Pastor?
Sorry, can you hear what Richard is saying? Hi.
Go ahead, say that again. I'm sorry, I don't know what the line's not so clear.
Did you hear Richard say it again?
Yeah, Pastor, right? Sorry, Pastor, I think I did hear about the Zimbabwean story as well. So even though it's not been established, but where I tend to struggle with the Zimbabwe story is obviously they were saying all sorts that they were going around raping men, collecting their semen and at gunpoint. Now, I'm a man, and I want to tend to believe that if I'm under a threat to my life,
the last thing you're going to be is aroused.
Honestly, the last, I mean, if I'm being threatened with a gun, even if I want to do it, physically my body won't respond to it. Because don't forget, this is a gun to my head. You're not asking me to open a bank and give you my money. You're asking my body to actually stimulate what is pleasure. And that moment,
so
that
basically it has to be
it's not a pleasurable
for you
moment.
to be aroused, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Pastor?
That's what I feel.
Hi, Pastor. Did you hear what Richard just said?
The experience I have, because the ministry I have is one that actually, meet people that have this experience, and you find male and female, and rape is not something. It's not a matter of stimulation now. It's a power thing, like we all know.
It's a what?
No, but what is
power thing?
It's a power thing. But what Richard is saying is that you have to be in the right frame of mind to be aroused.
Yeah.
That you're not going to be aroused if you're not in the right frame of mind. And if you're in the middle of fear, the last thing you're going to be is aroused.
In essence, if you say
no, that should be that we could say that was normal. But another thing is, like we all know, the easiest way for a human being, for any sex of any type that is matured, the easiest way is to see the opposite sex, maybe nude or in some other action or whatever.
But how about
But when those things happen, it's involuntary.
But Pastor,
It's involuntary. It's an involuntary
how
action.
about in the nude with a gun to your head? You're going to be looking at the gun. You're not going to be looking at the body. Don't you think?
Yeah, but it's involuntary. That's what we're talking about right now. The fact that action itself is involuntary.
Pastor, I won't lie to you.
You don't think it's involuntary?
Pastor, I won't lie to you, but I feel sorry for any man that could be aroused with a naked woman holding a gun to his head. I think that man has a problem and needs help. I'm sorry.
Well, all I just know is that I'm not, like I said, I'm not a medical doctor, so I can't hold speak for that side of what we're discussing about. But the thing is that it's an involuntary action. Let me give you the benefit of the experience of the people I've spoken to anyway.
Okay.
Either male or female.
Yeah.
What normally happens at that point in time is somebody is trying to show that they are above you power wise, that they have some control over you. It's all about power and control. So at that point in time, what happens is it's the delineation of the potential difference between the person who's trying to show that they have power over you and they have control over whatever they're trying to do to you at that time. Okay. You see, and that is what is overriding in the case of those I have actually interacted with. Okay. When you ask a child, or when you ask a woman, or you ask a man, what happened at that point in time, sometimes it might be something that has been happening for a while, a gradual emotional breakdown of that person's resistance.
I think, do you know what, Pastor? I think, and that is why Richard said earlier on that the man can't be raped, he can be sexually assaulted.
Absolutely.
So that is what makes the difference, because if it's in the case of a woman, it's something that is violent and it's something that she has no control over. And it can be
instantaneous. It doesn't have to be over a period of time.
But whereby with a man, it's sexual assault rather than rape itself. Which is kind of, in a sense, when you think of it.
I mean, okay, so what we're really trying to say in that sense, then.
In that sense, we're saying that a man can't be raped.
Yeah,
he can be
in
sexually
essence,
assaulted.
What it is, you see, most Western countries in the world right now have actually replaced rape from the statute.
When it comes to men?
No, rape itself. They've actually taken it out and put sexual assault. Do you understand?
I think no.
Okay.
That kind of narrows. That kind of breaks it down.
The common law countries. In the United Kingdom,
it's still rape.
In Canada, it's no rape.
I think that is awful because I'm sorry. There is a major difference between rape and sexual assault. I think that is awful because then you're taking away the traumatic. You see, with me, even mentioning that word rape, I feel somehow. Because it's such a horrible word.
No. You see, the word rape itself, what they're saying is, to those countries they believe the term sexual assault is a more advanced term. Listen, because they believe that word rape itself, when it was put into the statutes back in the days, was actually what could happen between a man and a woman. But right now, they believe the sexual act can happen between children, it can happen between a man and a man, it can happen between a woman and a woman, and therefore, to have an all-encompassing definition for rape, they just tag it under sexual assault.
You just don't put, there are certain things you don't throw into one bowl together. Yeah. There has to be, no wait, hold on. There has to be different levels because when somebody is raped, let me finish. When somebody is raped, can I finish first? Okay. When somebody is raped, it is a total different experience to when they are sexually assaulted.
No, absolutely not.
Wait, I disagree with you.
Right.
Also, can we let Antoinette? Go on.
But in the UK, rape is still rape because it's about penetration, so that is rape.
Okay.
A sexual assault is.
You see, another thing about one thing we need to understand, because when we came to the issue of rape, I actually wrote a book. I told Rati about this.
Oh, yeah,
when we
yeah,
came
yeah,
to the
you
issue of
did,
rape,
yes.
I actually asked the question. You know, I actually went around those who actually manage rape victims and domestic violence victims, and I did ask them, what exactly would you call rape? And what they told me is what I actually have in my book. Let me just read it to you. It's just a paragraph.
Pastor, I'm going to give you two more minutes, and then I'm going to have to round you up. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. It says rape is sex you don't agree to, including forcing a body part or object into a woman's reproductive organ, or into the rectum, or into the mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so rape is about power and not sex.
Yes.
A rape usually uses force or violence. So yeah, so it doesn't have to be. That's a woman. I agree with you on that. You know, and if you force a man to in the same way, either he wants it or not, that's also rape. Even though, like you said, the reproductive organ might not be ready for what you call it, for what we would call sexual intercourse. You know, but the fact that you have forced him to do that is rape.
It's rape, yes, I agree, Pastor. And that's the definition in the United Kingdom. It's this, penetration either of the man, of the sexual organs of a man.
All right, so can a woman now penetrate a man in the United Kingdom?
We don't have. Do we have any documented rape cases?
No. If we're gonna go by the law as it's been laid down in the United Kingdom, a woman cannot rape a man. A woman cannot rape a man. That's what the statute says.
No, I have to agree with you. No, if you look at the definition, he's right.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
A woman cannot rape a man because she doesn't have the organ to penetrate the man. But she can with an object.
Yeah.
With an object.
So
she can with an object.
She can wear
an object happens.
Yeah, so that's rape as well.
Yeah.
Because you're still penetrating.
Guys, let's not forget Pastor's still here.
But
Pastor, sorry, you got
assault.
wait, hold on, Pastor, you got forgotten there. Thank you so much for ringing in. Yeah, really grateful for that.
God bless you, man.
All right, honey, you take it easy. Bye. Oh, bless him. You forgot about the poor man on the phone.
No. He was a listening.
He was enjoying it, yeah? With his phone. Do you know what? There is one thing that... Sorry, it seems like we've got another phone call coming in. Sorry, hello, good evening.
Hi.
Hi, good evening.
I'm calling about the whole rape thing, about a woman can't rape a man.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from London.
From London. What's your name?
I want to keep it anonymous.
Okay. All right, then. That is fine.
All right. Then.
Yes. Yeah, so what did you want to contribute?
Pardon?
What did you want to say?
I don't actually agree with the whole statement that a woman can't rape a man.
Why?
Because there are some women that actually can rape a man, but not in that sense, not with force.
Yeah.
But they can make him do it unwillingly, to be honest. Rape isn't just about penetration. It can also be about the mentality too. Also your mental state.
No, that is really interesting. That is... Sorry, how old are you?
Pardon?
How old are you? No, it's just that
I'm 18.
Wow.
Yeah, she's an adult. So
no, I'm just saying she sounds... I'm just quite impressed at your insight at such a young age. Yeah, I'm really impressed with that.
Well, the type of people I go with, you have to know all about these things, basically. So it's all about controlling yourself and also your state of mind, too, with the whole situation and what you think rape is.
Wow. And do you know what? I'm going to ask you, since you didn't mention your name, I'm going to ask you quite a personal question. Would you be worried about kids with relatives?
Would I be worried about kids with relatives?
Yeah, as in, would their relative or their brother or their cousin assault them? Somebody trusted in the family?
To be honest, you really don't know who a person is. You may think you know who that person is, but you don't know who the person is. Everybody has their own little secret. So I wouldn't trust my kids 100% with a relative, but there'll be this trust. But as soon as I sense something, I'll cut it off straight away.
Well done. Yeah. Well done. Thank you so much for ringing in, yeah?
Thank you for taking my call.
Okay then, bye. Thank you.
Keep it up, bye.
Thank you, yeah, bye. Oh, that is interesting. Do you know what? We've actually... do you know, we've only literally got a few minutes left, and there was one thing I wanted to get in before we ended, and it was about, we've got 10 minutes left, and there's one thing I really want to get in, because I feel that apart from talking to people and having a conversation, it's also about giving people awareness. So the one thing I wanted to talk about, I think that there's a major issue in this country, to me, about what the rules around sexual assault and rape is. I think you've got loads of third world countries where men could easily do something like tap a woman on her bottom, or, you know, make sexual comments towards her. That, you know, they've come from countries where the rules are different, and then they come to this country, they do the same thing, and they end up losing their job, and even end up being put on the sex register, sex offenders register. And because I actually personally know someone who touched a lady's bum where he was working, and the woman reported him. He didn't think it was a big deal. So hold on, I think we've got another call coming in. Hello? Good evening.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, sorry, who am I speaking to?
My name is Princess.
Hi, Princess. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from London.
Hi, Princess. What would you like to contribute to the conversation, please?
I would like to speak to Abefe.
Oh no, I think you got the wrong day, honey. Today's Friday, Abefe's on a Thursday.
Oh, okay then. Oh.
All right then. Thank you for calling in anyway. I'll tell Abefe you called.
Bye.
All right, bye. Oh, bless her. She must have slept overnight. She must have slept for 24 hours? 48 hours. She lost the day. Bless her. No, so what I was actually saying was that, so this man was working, he was actually working, he's not on air, I haven't seen him for years, but he was working in the underground, and there was this woman that he fancied, and he touched her bottom once, and the woman told him to stop it. You know when men, you know, when it's like, you know, can you stop it? You know, there's this notion, a woman says yes, but a woman says no, but she means yes. Yeah. So he touched her bottom once, she told him off, then he done it a second time, and she reported him, and when she reported him, he was taken through the disciplinary process, actually ended up being sacked from the underground, and when he left the underground, he went and he studied social work, and he spent 4 years in university, studied social work, became a social worker. As soon as he qualified, applied for a job, and when he applied for that job, then they came back and said, well, sorry, you've got your CRB has failed, and not only have you been, yeah. So people need to realise that it is considered as a very serious offence, and it could ruin the rest of their lives.
Yeah, it is very serious. But any crime considered to do with sex, it's highly, really.
Yeah. And also, rape is quite high up.
And that's sexual assault. You know, touching a woman or sexual touching
is
sexual assault. And people have to recognize that. Again, it's about boundaries.
It's about boundaries.
It's about boundaries.
That's it.
You can't go about touching people on their bums, their breasts.
Exactly. Or even touching them, invading their personal space, isn't it?
No, because it's about boundaries.
You know what I can actually remember? I could remember once when I was living in Nigeria, getting down from a bus, and the bus conductor smacked my bottom as I was getting down. You know, you tried it here.
Put it this way, it could
I was offended, but I couldn't say anything.
It could be a cultural thing.
And everybody in the bus was laughing.
It's not a cultural thing.
Well, listen, the society,
it
can be a cultural thing. The society which she was talking about, obviously, she's not the only girl in that society.
Yeah.
So girls in that society get smacked on their bum and they don't see it. A lot of the time. They don't see it.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying that, I think it's more like a man-woman thing. I don't think it's a cultural thing, because I'm from Nigeria, and where I come from, you don't just go and smack people on their bum.
No, you're not meant to.
That's disrespectful. So you can't say it's a cultural, because when you say it's a cultural thing, you're saying that it's something
I agree with her. It's not a cultural thing. Actually, I've switched. I've switched.
It's
I'm on your side.
And no boundaries.
Yeah,
I
I've
totally
switched.
disagree.
I totally disagree as well. You're on your own for this one.
Yeah,
well,
it's not a cultural thing.
Because what we're saying then is that Nigerian men can
exactly. You're putting yourself down and your fellow men down.
Is it a cultural thing?
It's not
Listen. Let me just pose this question to you. Is it a cultural thing in Nigeria for a man to have more than one wife? It's a very simple question.
I don't know.
It's a cultural thing.
Okay. Well, how do you compare that to sexual torture?
No. Is it a criminal offense in the United Kingdom to be married to more than one woman? Of course it's a criminal offense.
So, and your point is?
The point is it's a cultural thing in Nigeria.
It's not a cultural thing. You can't use that argument. You can't use that argument and say because a man can marry more than one wife, therefore, if a man smacks a woman's bottom, it's a cultural thing.
No,
totally
listen.
disagree.
Listen.
That is disrespectful. It's about men not treating women with respect. It's not about culture. I'm a Nigerian. I come from Nigeria, and I know that is disrespectful
to a woman.
Yes, of course. You don't have any respect for a woman. That's why you would do that to a strange woman.
We've got one more call coming through. Hold on, guys, calm down. One more call coming in. Hello, good evening. Hopefully it's not Third Beffer again. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Hi.
Hi.
Who am I speaking to, please?
This is Olu.
Hi, Olu. How are you?
I'm okay. Yeah.
Have you been listening to the show?
Yeah, I've been listening to people that smack people's bum in Nigeria. You're lying on us, you know. We are very disciplined people in Nigeria and we respect our woman. So I disagree with you people.
Who do you disagree with? Are you disagreeing with me, Annette, or Richard?
Anybody that says that you are smacking ladies in the bum.
They smacked my bum. They did.
Yeah. Sorry?
They did smack my bum. A bus conductor smacked my bum.
It could happen to you in UK
too. The
man.
bus was laughing.
Yeah, it could happen to you here in UK too. Yeah, it could happen to you in UK too.
Yeah, but we agree that it happens in the UK. That's not what we're saying. We are saying that essentially wherever in the world it happens, it's wrong. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree with you with that.
And do you think it is a cultural thing?
No, it's not a cultural thing. That's true.
It's not a cultural thing.
Well, I wasn't in a battle with you to win anything.
Well, you were trying to
it's my opinion.
Win the argument.
No, this is not about winning. Listen.
But has your opinion changed?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
Because why is a norm?
Can you change his opinion for us? You're a fellow man.
No. You know what? We respect ladies in Africa.
So that's
and we love women. That's why we're having more than 3 women at home.
Who have smacked my friend's bum. That doesn't mean I've sexually violated
her. If it's part of your culture, that is a disrespect to
No, absolutely not.
No. Hold on a sec.
If I've got a mate back home, do you understand? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. You still there? I think they forgot.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Did you hear what he said? My friend Richard said that it's our culture in Nigeria to smack women.
I didn't say our culture.
No, he didn't say that.
It's a cultural thing.
No, it's not a cultural thing. No.
It's a cultural thing, but in my eyes, for it to be a cultural thing, it's part of the culture.
Yeah,
so that is it. If you say it's a cultural thing, it's part of the culture.
So is it a cultural thing for a young girl to come into a house whereby an adult, say an uncle comes or whatever, and he comes and sits on the uncle's lap?
That is different.
No, listen.
Well, that's inappropriate. It's not even a
cultural thing.
You know what, guys?
I
am so sorry. I can see you having a lovely, wonderful time.
Inappropriate.
Guys, I can see you guys having a lovely, wonderful time. I'm enjoying being in the middle. But at the end of the day, yes, and I'm going to say goodbye to Olu in a sec. Olu, sorry, I'm just trying to keep them apart. Olu, thank you so much for ringing in. Hello, has he gone? I think he's gone. You guys got rid of him. Anyway, guys, we have to.
He'll call in next week.
No, you guys, that is lovely. We've had a lovely show. We've had an interesting show because we were able to talk about something that is very, very negative, and we were able to actually move it on, and in a nice professional way, which is the thing that happens when you talk to professionals. I would like to say a big thank you to Richard, the cultural man. I would like to say a big thank you to Annette, the lady that argues for the women. Thank you so much. I would like to say a big thank you to the production team for being very patient with our two guests tonight. But they were wicked, and thank you, production team. You guys are lovely, you rock. And I'd like to say a big thank you to my wicked, lovely producer, bless him. He's so patient with me. Toxie Baylor, thank you. And I'd like to say a big good night to all you, the audience out there, and thank you for viewing. And our callers, thank you for ringing. And I'll tell Abefe that you rang. Bye, thank you.